Slightly disappointing. On display here we've got the information about the castle in a leaflet in Estonian, which is great if you can understand the Estonian language. It's also available in German, but nothing in Spanish or English. So even this second booklet is in Estonian only. And here, booklet with map, which is very nice for the Estonian visitors, but not so useful if you don't speak Estonian. The island of Ruunu. Quite a thick booklet we've got here, and it's in Estonian. You may remember Ruunu is one of the two islands, along with Kinu, which you can visit by ferry boat from Pärnu. You can also fly to Ruunu from Kuressaare if you're interested. Got some more information which is in Finnish and Estonian, I presume. Visit Saaremaa, or English and German, or Latvian and Russian. So that looks a bit more hopeful, doesn't it? Oh, particularly if you're interested in hiking trails and cycling routes. And here we have Lottie. I don't know if you've come across this character before. I almost got into trouble the other day by suggesting that Lottie, who is a female dog character, obviously children here in Estonia love Lottie, and I made the mistake of saying, well, she looks to me as though she might be a little bit of the offspring of an illicit love tryst between a grown-up Pippi Longstocking and a Moomin. Yeah, that didn't go down well. I should keep some of my ideas to myself, I suppose. And some more very competitively priced postcards. And you can get your Viking on while you're at it. I did warn you there's a Swedish influence here, didn't I? So there we are, the green, right in the centre. Just a short distance down to the castle, so I think, let's go. What did I learn from that? Several things. Some things I will keep to myself. Other things I'm going to share with you. I have a slight dilemma now. Do I go this way or do I go this way? Was I paying sufficient attention? Not really. But here, perhaps, no. I was thinking, to be honest, that my little leaflet in German would be sufficient, but there's no map of the way down to the castle. But I think all roads probably lead to the castle in Kuressaare, don't you? Let's go this way because I can see some sticking up in the air pointy things. And sticking up in the air pointy things resembling perhaps elements of that castle. We'll find out in a while. Looks pretty close, doesn't it? In fact, it all looks pretty close. And when you're in Kuressaare, you're probably never far away from much at all. Lovely place to come, to relax. And, oh dear, here am I saying it's a lovely place to come and relax, and there's a character over there who I think would probably disagree with me. Who's this then? He's a man full of angst, And clearly coming here to relax was not on his agenda. Or maybe it was and he just got caught up in a rebellion of some kind. I'll take my turn at going to have a look at that in a short while. So skillfully manoeuvring around the statue. There's a nice little, almost like mini town hall clock on the top of a building. Let's take a closer look at that. Oops-a-daisy. Aliman's house. What's all this about then? Every city has its buildings or other structures that stand out from the rest thanks to something special about them. That's true, and this is probably why I've been drawn here quite randomly. The house at number 1 Cowber Street is a very modest wooden building by nature, but it has become a symbol of the city in its own right, thanks to the imposing clock tower which decorates the house. I don't know if imposing really. Yes, anyway, the building, which is referred to either as Aliman's house or Palopson's house by the locals after its former owners, was probably built in 1899. Oh, I thought it may have been a bit older, you know. With reference to this, also provided on the clock tower's weather vane. The clock tower was restored in 1999 and the clock repaired and made functional again. Hurrah! Some details about the family of the previous owners. Well, it's cute, isn't it? But now I guess open for some kind of business, but I don't think specifically for idiots like me with cameras walking in there, because they're an operating business. Cute little shopping street here if you want to pick up some handicraft items. But I do really want to trail back to that statue of the man with the sword in his hand, because I'm thinking there was a battle of Saaremaa. I'm guessing there was, because he's definitely got caught up in some period of history when there was fighting going on, which is, well, doesn't seem to fit in with the atmosphere in Kuressaare at all, does it? Let's have a look to see who he is. Okay. Vaberdusoyas. Okay. Langenud Saraseta here. Yeah. I wonder if this is in Swedish, because it looks as though it might be, because the words are kind of similar to what I've been seeing for the Estonian language, but not the same. Or maybe it's a local Swedish Estonian language hybrid that's developed over the years. Again, I'm left filling in the blanks as best I can using my strange imagination. I can't really see too much here other than this piece of information, which some people might be able to understand. But again, it's those dates, 1918 to 1920, the fight for the first independence of Estonia. Long time to wait for independence when for hundreds of years previously you've been dominated by the Danes, the Germans, specifically the Pope-driven Catholic Germans, the Russians, the Poles were probably around as well, looking to extend their empire with the Lithuanians. But anyway, not in 1918, 1920. This was very specifically end of the First World War, of course, for many of us from other parts of the world. And with the collapse of the Russian Empire, the Tsarist Empire, and the emergence of the Bolshevik Empire, yeah, Estonians seized the opportunity. Some seized a sword to take that opportunity to fight for their independence. And they got it. For 20 years at least. And then more recently, of course, they got it back again for the last 30. My nose is just wandering. Ooh, too many options, too many options. Let's go down this street. I think I've got plenty of time. I hope I don't fall into the trap of arriving too relaxed, thinking I've got plenty of time, only to find that actually the time flies so quickly that I'm rushing hotfoot to that airport in order to catch my early evening flight. It's interesting with flights, they always say get there something like 2 hours, sometimes even 3 hours before the flight's actually due, don't they? That's the usual spiel. And yeah, I'm somebody who tends to be a little cautious with these things and make sure he does get there in ample time. But I'm thinking back to the fact I couldn't check in online earlier, and the advice on the airline's website was, yeah, get to the airport 2 hours before. But with this particular little Kuressaare airport, I'm thinking surely there'll be very few people on the plane. It will be a very small plane, I'm expecting, and it's not an international flight, and I probably won't need to get there 2 hours beforehand. But yeah, maybe I should, just in case. Who knows what could happen if I don't heed the warning. It's probably a case of the locals who take the trip regularly will know, oh no, you can rock up sort of 40 minutes before the flight's due to take off and it won't be a problem. Just go through the entrance door, wave your ID and your ticket, and you can walk straight onto the tarmac, straight up onto the little plane, and Bob's your auntie. Before you know it, you're away. But I can't take the risk of that being the case, can I really? Because if I do, I'm liable to come a cropper.